Hello, welcome back to the grind. Here I am, grinding on the 1976 BMW 2002. I rolled it in, I was able to get it rolled into the shop, and I don't know if I got that on film or I likely did. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't, who knows. And started working on, well, discovering what's gone, and started working on what's missing and what I have to do. So this part here, that see over here, that holds the front bumper on, but this rail here is new, and the front bumper disappeared with the old rail, I guess. Anyhow, that it never ever, or else it fell over somewhere in northern Ontario, one of the two. I think that piece there he put on just for the holder. I don't know, don't think that's supposed to be there. Anyway, the I digress. I found out the drive shaft is not here. I think it's somewhere on the road in northern Ontario. So I've ordered a new drive shafter, and these patch panels that came with the car, this side here is like, this is what the other side looked like a few days ago. Now it looks like this. It's got all together again and ready to go. So I'll keep on working on this stuff. Stick around, you'll see what I did. Put on this piece here, which goes around the headlight stuff. This piece here, which is the support for the fender and everything. Fender supports go in here. And we'll see what we get done. So, stick around. Hope you enjoy it, like it, and subscribe. And so I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Oh, there. Thank God it's not very heavy, that thing. So, I'll see if I can get it rolled the rest of the way in. You want to watch and see? We'll just put you right there. Well, how do you like that? I'll see if I can get it centered a little bit better, but that'll be, for now, that's in. Okay, I'll put the doors down and let the heat come back on. Now, I'll go over what's obvious here. I wonder where my light is. There it is. Hang on, I'll get the light. Got a cord hooked onto it. I was charging it. Anyway, here we are. So, it looks like that's a new, I think that's called an A pillar, and he's got the hinges put onto it, so the door works nice. Oh, cool. And then it's all welded up quite nicely. Like you can see that the welding is good. Nothing wrong with that welding. I don't know if that's a new part. I think that's a new part. That underneath there looks new because it hasn't been all bent up. Yeah, same on here. That's new. And well done. Looks like there's a bolt missing there. Both sides. So I'll have to get the book and find out if it's supposed to have a bolt there or not. Maybe not. So that looks like it's done properly. The young fellow that was working on this was a fabricator, and he certainly knows how to weld. Likely a better welder than I am. So it's all nicely done. This is a new floor pan put in all the way across. Nice butt weld on it. And then now here, I still have to do the plug welds on here. Well, that's okay. I can handle that. And over on this side, he put new floor pan in here. And I have to do the butt welds on there. Okay, or plug welds on there. I can do that. That's no sweat. That's nice. Then So the front end seems to be all pretty good. The this part here, see right here, this gaping opening there where the headlight goes and stuff like that. It's on the other side. Oh, that needs a little bit of help right there. Distractions. The other side is still on here, so that's a good for figuring out where things go. I've got a patch panel for that. This little bit of angle on here is used to support everything, I think, until that comes off, which is okay. He's smarter welder than I am too. And then this is all new along here. And is that the way it is on the other side too? Yeah, that's the way it is. That like sort of mud splash there. Okay, so far looking pretty nice. Now back to the back here. He hasn't, like, that's exactly the same as my 635 CSI and rusted in exactly the same spot as my 635 CSI, right beside the fuel lines. Very convenient to rust beside fuel lines. Anyway, well, the fuel lines look like fuel and brake lines might have to be, they're all bent out of shape because they were supposed to go across there somewhere. We'll fix that. We'll get new ones or put a new one in. It's not an injected motor, and I think the pump is at the front. Brake lines back here look good. The what do you call that? That's the exhaust pipe there, which just got cut off, so I'll pull that out of the way. And the muffler looks like won't have to replace that right away, which is good news too, because I hate replacing mufflers. Well, I don't hate it, they're a pain. Now, at the back here, here's where my real work is going to be, right here. Now, I don't know for sure if there's a patch panel for this or not, but we'll get to that. And then this back panel here, the splash plate at the back here, the rear valance, is that what it's called? Rear valance? Is all good, except right here, there's just a rust spot on it right there. Wonder why? Well, who knows why, hey? And then something happened here that got on, I'm pretty sure that happened during transit. And then this side here, you can see right into the trunk, and spare tire is right there. It's got a spare tire. And the tires are a really nice shape. There's no, I wonder if I can find a date code on them. Oh, they got the Michelin Man on them, so they're nice tires. I wonder where you find a date code. I won't worry about them because there's no cracking. They look pretty good. Who knows? Made in Mexico. That's okay. Everything's made in Mexico. They can't be that old if they're made in Mexico. Anyway, that's where things stand so far. Right here, that just is out exterior. I'll just cut that away and put a little patch in there, and that'll be perfect because the rest of it seems to be okay. And the door, bottom of the door, as always, but not rusted right through. Well, it is right there. That's kind of a sad spot right there. And a couple of sad spots here that I'll have to fix, but I might be able to fix them with the door in place. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see. Anyhow. Looks like that front shock has been bent. No, I guess it's straight. Can you see that? There's some yucco on it anyhow. Might need new struts, right? It wouldn't surprise me if it needed new struts. This one here looks pretty yucky too, so it's been leaking fluid a bit. But this is nice that those pillars are brand new, both sides. All this stuff up here is brand new and well done, like nicely done. And I'm quite happy to see that. Thank you to previous owner, if you're watching. Keep watching, it might turn out the way you'd like it. See what I can do about that. Anyway, now I didn't ever see a drive shaft. I did find a steering wheel, so maybe the drive shaft's over there somewhere. I'll have a look around. I don't remember seeing it. Anyway, it might be in one of those boxes. But I'll go and I'll dig through the boxes and see what there is for patch panels, because there's a bunch of patch panels there that I really don't even know what they are, but better get the note and see what they're supposed to do. Okay, all for now. Okay, the voyage of discovery here. So, I don't know, you can't really see these things, but those are the 2 panels to go on the back here, up to there and back. So we'll see how they fit. They might fit all right, but then I have to fix up the inside of it here. And same on there's some rust up there that has to be fixed up. Anyway, that's later. I got those 2. These 2, like that one and that one came off, replaced by that one, those 2, and they came off right along here. And then this piece here is replaced by one of those things. These 2 pieces here, they've already been cut and used, part of them. I don't know where they are. Maybe on the inside. They might be part of this business here. This has been replaced right here, only to there. So that part there might have been all replaced from that. Then back here, we'll have a look into here and see how it is for this part. And those bits, this all looks pretty good in here. Those bits there might be good for the back end of this again. So I'll have a look on the interior and see what happened there. I don't know, maybe you can see. Can you see in there? Over there somewhere. Don't know where. And I never did find the drive shaft. Drive shaft is somewhere. Maybe it fell out in northern Ontario somewhere. Who knows? But that's gonna be. I imagine I'll find one somewhere if I have to. I'll call up the previous owner and see if he has it still in his shop, and if he does, I'll get him to ship it to me. Anyway, that's I'll do some more investigating about where these pieces go, and then I'll, like on the other side here, he's got it ready to put together again. I'll just take this off and get it out of the way. This being that thing there. Yeah, it looks like that's how much of the panel he used off of there. And then it's good till somewhere back here. Might need a bit of work here. I'll check it out, what's going on here. And at the back it definitely needs some help. Anyway, but that's and this is where they loaded it with well, like you can see, they loaded it with a forklift. So that was a little bit tough on that part. The other part of the forklift caught right here, which is strong, right? Okay, well, there you go. Quite helpfully, the previous owner sent along these bits that he cut out. So if I didn't have these, I'd be lost. This bit here goes in here, but I think I need to do some rebuilding on that because I don't see a patch panel for it. Likely it's not available. Anyway, that's okay. I can rebuild that. This bit here is so this is where all the spot welds were drilled out and lines up just right. Then see these holes here, this is where the fender hooks on. Don't know how yet, but that's how the fender hooks on there somehow. And so all these holes have to be lined up right. So this one here, there's where it lines up. That one here, that's where it lines up, and then that's just using a square, you know, to do that. And then I'll put on the new piece and see how it lines up, and I might get it just about somewhere right. So I figured out a better way. I marked the holes with marker where they sat. And then now I can move this forward or backward, then I've got white marks where the holes go, right? That's good. All those plug holes are here. I have to make some plug weld holes all the way along, like, see where they all are on that? All the way along there, and down here, and down there. And that catches all the body bits, yeah, right there. So, what I'll likely do is just put this on top, mark them all. The ones that are on the bottom have to move up a bit because it'll, the way that metal works, right? But these ones at the edges and those ones there should line up good. Or well, line up well. We'll figure it out. If they don't, well, I'll redo it. Ah, there. That's day one of rebuilding BMW. Found out where that went, right? This piece here, I don't know where that goes. I'll find it sometime. Don't know. Anyhow, but the like there was a piece underneath here that got taken out. I wonder where it went. It looks like it went across to here. Is that it? Don't know. Don't think so. Anyway, I'll look around and see if I can find a missing piece. I found a battery box there. Don't know where it goes. I've got a book coming. It might show what's supposed to be there. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The puzzle of it all. Anyway, this might be a clue from somewhere. Anyway, I think this went on the inside somewhere. Anyway, oh, what the hell. The puzzle goes on, so I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, here I am, back on the Beamer. Now, today I'm going to start putting some of these pieces together because they're ready to go. I'll put this side on, I'll get this thing here put on, which is this. Kind of clean them off a bit. The missing pieces, see this? They're supposed to be a structure like that to hold that on. So I'm going to have to build it, I guess. Don't know why it's not there, and I don't have, it's nowhere to be found. So looks like it won't be too tough to make it. And I'll see what's supposed to be on the inside of it, how it's supposed to, everything's supposed to hook in. Don't know. But not there, that's for sure. Okay. This, like, that was a new piece here, so it must have been rusted off or something, or I don't know. Anyhow, any piece that isn't here, I don't think I'll have any luck finding. So I'll have to, like, either build it or else buy it. Like, the drive shaft didn't come with the car, and it's somewhere, likely on the road in northern Ontario. And I think it was strapped in underneath the car when they sent it, and then there was a strap that went underneath the car and it wasn't holding anything, so I kind of presume that's where the drive shaft used to be. So now it'll have to be, like, you can get one from you can get one on Amazon, and that's likely the best place to go, because if it doesn't fit you can send it back to Amazon and they don't mind. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. It needs a drive shaft. The other thing that, other little bits that it needs, I'll go get it as, new lips here. New lips are just awful, right? As I go along, I'll find pieces that it needs. I should just take the windshield off of it and pull that. And the one thing about having the windshield on there, it keeps all the dust out of it. So I'll leave that on until I move back towards this end of the car, which will be, well, fairly soon. But like the pieces, everything that's here seems to be in pretty good shape, but I don't know why some of the pieces never came with it. I guess they just, well, The exhaust, oh, another thing missing is exhaust system, but you can get that from Rock Auto, and it's reasonable price from Rock Auto. So it does have a muffler and a tailpipe, but it doesn't have all the pipes that get to there. So that'll be the next thing. But perhaps the very first thing I should do is pull this bumper off of here. I've got to undo that bolt right there. Pull this bumper off and then see how everything goes together. See what's holding what. Yeah, so I spent the last hour or so trying to find parts online, but I don't think I will. I think it's all make it yourself. This is new down here. That one there looks like it was, I don't know. That's new down below, as far as I can tell. Wonder how far it went. Don't know. Don't know how far he went with that, but it's all looks pretty new there, right? But I think I have to make that part. And I found that bolt, but I didn't like the rest of the piece. The rest of the piece is missing. Missing in action somewhere on the somewhere in northern Ontario, hey? And this piece here, have to make that a thing that looks like that to go over here. And I got a piece of I got a bunch of 16 gauge, which looks like that stuff is. Hard to tell sometimes. But, well, 16 gauge is what I'll make it out of. And I guess what I'll do is I'll make a little bit of a pattern on a piece of cardboard. Or not cardboard, but hard paper. Then we'll go from there. Yeah, so after all sorts of screwing around, this is sort of a pattern for the top piece. I'm going to put that onto a piece of metal, and I'm going to cut it out with the whatever you call that cutting thing, plasma cutter. See if that'll work. Well, now here, maybe the first cut on this car, right? Wait a minute, I find my board. Gotta have a board. There's a board. I think I gotta go on the other side here. Can you see that? I don't know. Right there. Right there. Yeah, so here's the first piece, right? And don't you know I did it backwards at first, of course. But you see how that one, where am I here? That one comes along and then there's a flange going up. So of course I put the flange on the same side backwards, but this has got to be mirror image so that it sits in here. Like that. About like that, with the flange going up. Now I'll see if I can build, what I'll do is I'll build this, I think that I'll build this piece here. See how that flange goes along there and then meets along there. Make that first. Oops. Make that first, and then it's got a, and then it sort of sits on a little base. So that part I think it's kind of just about square, but not quite, of course. And then it bends across to the other side. Looks like that has a channel. When they built it, they built a channel in here for the thing to sit on. That's, oh yeah, and then they built the support for it there, but that support has to come up above that thing. Not really sure how that works. Because this rail over here, oh yeah, this rail here must be new, and that rail is original, right? Okay, well there, that's what's going on. So now I have to just, this rail comes out a bit longer than this one. So that's the way that is. Okay, so now they had a bit of a channel in here, right width at the top, and it goes back to where it bends, right? I think that's how it works. All right, let me get a light in there. Oh, there's a light right there. Yeah, you see there, it just goes back to where it bends down. Just down past that hole is how long it is. Okay, well I can do that. And then I'll put the walls up, and then we'll get it welded onto that other thing. So that's all spot welded all the way along there, so that'll be okay. Interesting. And flanged at the top. Oh boy, that's quite the bit of engineering there. We'll get it. Fortunately, I have this thing here. Excuse me. So now I'll make a bracket that goes on here that fits over that thing there, and that should define everything on it, right? Then this part here, then the outside wall will come down and meet it, and the outside wall will come down and meet it. Oh, that's getting to be all right. Yeah, so oh, this thing here goes on there, and then this is a flange on this side, and then I'll cut a flange on that side, and it goes, like, it starts about there, and it goes past that much. So that should be, I'll cut that out with the plasma cutter and have a look and see. Maybe I'll get a better shot of it this time, eh? Can you see that? That's right there. I don't know why this thing is twisted like that. But it is. Oh well. Whoops. Not a very good cut. And then the end of it has to be straightened out a bit. Yeah, so I'll just straighten that out a bit that way, and then I'll turn it around this way. You know, I don't know what to do there. Figure it out. This one here. Got it like that, eh? That's the top, that's the bottom. Okay, I'll get this straightened out a little bit. So that's got to be cut across about like that, maybe. I'll cut that with my little metal cutter. Okay, that's sort of what it's going to look like here. Whoops. Now I just have to build the walls. So now, and I found a nut that would fit that. So this nut gets fastened onto here, welded on. I'm going to go in now and see if I can build one of these things on my 3D printer. Yeah, there it is, back again. I'm going to carry on building that piece that looks like this. That'll be the first bit, because it actually needs, that piece is missing and it's important to have it there. Then I'll carry on with this. I put a coat of black paint on this stuff in here just to keep it from rusting. And it'll be covered in, so it'll be never seen again. So same over here, needs another coat of paint. Anyhow, this piece here I made on the 3D printer just as a spacer to go in here on this side to center that when I'm doing the, whatever you call that, lining up the bumper. I'll line up the bumper and put the new piece that I make in, and this slides onto there like that. 3D printers are amazing things when they work, and that's just PTG or whatever they call that stuff. When I make the final one, which I'm still figuring out how to make it angular, like this. See how that's this big at this end and bigger at the other end, and it's got that. So I still haven't got all that figured out on the 3D modeler, but it's called drafting. I think you draft it. Who knows? Anyway, you just keep fighting, keep pressing buttons till it does what you want, and then that's that. So I'll get a piece of these like that built, and then I'll make it out of some sort of hard plastic, whatever they call that stuff. Anyway, I forget the name, but we'll get that done. Then I'll wait and I'll just drill a hole in it with a drill, because trying to get that in the right spot. I suppose you could do it on a 3D printer, but then you'd have to find some way to keep it supported. Anyway, easier just to drill the hole later. Now this part here is pretty close to right. The next piece I'll make is a side piece, the two side pieces, and I'll start putting it together with this in the middle here. Oh, there, Buster's out with me today. Now, this piece here sort of fits on there quite nice, and it needs, not very tight yet. Anyway, needs a piece to go, it flanges here, it goes flat along there and then goes back in and then back down. So I'll make it a bit longer than it has to be, and then I'll trim it to make it fit. How is that? So first off, I'll just go out to this far. This part here, I've got a piece to fill in there later. That shouldn't be cut out of there. Anyway, but that's all right. We'll get that done. Okay, I'm gonna make this side first, which is, I don't know, I'm gonna make this side first, which is the outside, and it goes to here, and then another piece goes on here. But will I make it in two pieces? Likely I will, and then I'll just weld it up. Yeah, so I went and I cut out this piece to fit on here, and then I put a flange in it the way it's supposed to be, like that. But I made it too short down here, you know, which is normal for me. So I just had a piece of scrap metal, so I just put it on there, and that'll make for the flange hooking onto here. Okay, now I'll cut that off there and there, and that will look like it never happened. Now it wraps around. I've marked the back of it where it goes, and it's got a little bit of a taper on it there, right? So should be about like that. I'll make it a bit sharper corner on the anvil over there. Yeah, it's coming along. This half is sort of done. Now I have to, so I put it together and put a bunch of clecos in it so that I can put it back in the same spot exactly, right? Before I do any welding on it. Now this has to get bent a flange out here. Not going to be exactly the same as the other side because the other side has got already so here on this side, you see that flange is bent up there all the way along. This one here, it's flat all the way along. So I'll make the flange come out this way on this side and should get the same effect pretty close. That looks like it's pretty well a flat, yeah, flat surface along there. And I think that the flange, by my measurements, flange, it'll go right here, and that should bring it to this point, which would be, oh, can you see in here? Oh, right there, where that, see where the flange buckles down there? That would be flat to there then. So what I'm going to do is cut that so that the flange comes right in there. Then I'll just see what I can do about fitting this stuff in. But this can get cut off there. And likely get cut off there. Yeah, so the flange would get to there and then be changed angle to go another direction there, which is coming up. And this thing here gets over to here, and then it gets flattened that way. I'll see if I can figure out how far down this is, because if I do that, that would work out all right. Yeah, the previous owner might have been, this needs to be welded there, but the previous owner put this new piece in. Then I think maybe he intended to cut this all out of here, but my intention isn't that. My intention is to repair this in place, so this can be, I can put a patch in, make a patch and put it in here for this, because most of that's fairly decent shape. Over here it's all right. Wonder what that is. Well, it's a nut. So that needs to be repaired. And then over here, a couple weak along there, along that whole seam back there. So, but I'll fix that up. We'll put the needle scaler to it and see what happens. Lots of nuts and bolts hanging around. Don't know what they're for. Anyway, now back to this. See if I can, by hook or crook, I'll make this cut here. Then I'll flange that up to there. Make a cut down to here so that this can be flanged differently. Anyway, we'll work out. Getting close to being correct. Now what I did was I took that, I'll show you. Wait a minute, I'll take it apart and I'll show you. Yeah, tight quarters in here. I'm in here with you in the middle of the car. Anyway, this is the side that's existing. And I've got a level here. This part here, like that's level. I don't know if you can see the bubble in there, but that coming across the top, it's got to be level. Oh, I'll get twisted around here. And so, same on this side, coming across the top, got to be level. How do I get that level? Well, because I was trying to figure out where this flange here went, so I just turned it upside down, turned the metal upside down, and then marked a level line along where I thought where the flange went. Can't do this all at once. Can I hear you? So here, see, that is the inverse angle, because so it's level upside down now. And I was able to just I clamped it down on here, and then I put a level line along where I wanted the flange to be, and that worked out pretty good. I'm happy with it. So now I have to build the other side, And this part here, where am I here? It'll sort of sit like here, eh? And goes out to about there. Like that. Then I have to drill a hole somewhere in here. Whoops, where am I pointing? Wrong place. I have to drill somewhere in here, just a hole to allow that bolt to go through. I'll figure that out a little bit later, because it goes down a bit farther than that. Anyway, that, and then this will be over here somewhere. I don't know where this will be determined by where the bumper sits. So I've got that extra piece of plastic to go in here to center the bumper, and I'll put the bolt down through the hole in the bumper. Then I'll get this thing centered on, and I'll just put a tack weld through it to get started with it, and then we'll know where it goes. How's that? Because I think we're pretty close to right with it. Then the other side, I should be able to get down there somehow, like I should be able to get into there somehow and do a little bit of welding along that edge in there. If I can't, I'll figure out something. This one here is not exactly the same as the other side, but it'll be pretty darn close. And I might just weld on a piece here so that it's like, I'll just put a piece of I don't know, can you see here? Put a piece of metal in here and what do you call that? Weld it onto the side here and then onto there. I'll put a couple of, there's a name, plug welds. Put a couple of plug welds in there and then a couple of plug welds down here. That'll be a piece that goes on after the fact. So this side here will be welded on real solid. That side there will be welded on reasonably solid. But then this part here, there's a part that comes across from here. So I got to butt weld a piece on there, and that goes across the top of the whole thing. See over here? That metal comes across right over the top of the whole thing, and it creates more structure for it. Whether it's creating structure for this or it's creating structure for this, doesn't matter. That's the way it is. Okay, anyway, I'll get out of here. Buster's a good garage dog. Hey. Anyway, now I've traced out the other side here, which would be the same as that, but flanges going in the other direction, and yeah, mostly in the other direction. But I'll cut this out with the thing there, whatever you call that, plasma cutter. You want to watch? More plasma cutting. Plasma cutting is neat because it just sort of works. Hang on, I gotta get my glasses. So I just line up the cup. Easy peasy. See if that's right now, hey? Yeah, so I've got that clecoed back together. Clecos are great little things. Now this part here, so on that side, the flange goes up on, I don't know, can you see that? The flange goes up there, right? On this side, it stays flat on the top and the flange comes out. So this has to be bent out, which I will do in a short time, as soon as I figure out the angle for it. Now, I have to cut out a little bit of a notch here so that it'll bend easy, and then have to fill in one of these or both of these notches. We'll figure that out. That's pretty close to what it's supposed to be. So I think I'll weld it up together, and then I may have to custom make a piece to go into here if it's not quite right, but that's, you know, nothing new there, right? I have to make a piece for in here on the thing anyhow. But first I'll get this part welded together, then I'll see about getting the oh dear me, what am I trying to say? I'll get it welded together, then I'll drill a hole down through, like I'll get it into position, then I'll drill a hole down through so that sits right before I can before I weld it on, and I'll get everything into the right position, we hope. But that looks pretty good. Looks like it's gonna work. And then I'll put a plate on the top like this one has, and that'll be just a couple of plug welds. It's got this cutout here which holds the plastic in, but I don't think I have to. I don't think I need that. I think I'll live without that. That's just an extra complication for really no purpose that I can see. Anyway, that's all right. Well, it might be, the purpose might be just to hold that in place while you're pushing this pipe in and out, but the pipe will, the hole that I have made, that pipe will fit it through it. Okay, all right. Yeah, there, I won't do any welding on it till tomorrow. It's got to sit something like that, I think, and so that will be based on where the bumper sits, so the bumper will sit level across the car, because I think the car is pretty level the way it is. It's level front to the back. How is it on the side-to-side business here? Pretty darn close. I can set up the laser and get the bumper to the right height. There's bumps in the work here. Oh yeah, that's level, right? See, the car is level. Not quite on this side. That's, oh, that's because that thing there is bent, right? Try it down here. Yeah, down here it's pretty darn level. Hard to pick a spot. Yeah, pick a spot, any spot. Pretty close to level, so if I get the bumper level on here, I'll be pretty happy with it. I think there'd be a small amount of adjustment. No, it'll be all, no adjustment. Once it's in, it's in. So I'll make sure that I get it, like the distance from here down to the bumper is the same as the distance from here down to the bumper. That would look good. Okay, now, but that's tomorrow. Oh, see you tomorrow. Buster is busting out to get out of here, hey? He was pretty good in here all day. Maybe I'll bring him out here more often, because that way he doesn't have to be lonely in the house. Oh, there, I finally got sort of the shape that I want. I hope. Pretty close to that, but it doesn't have this chamfer at the front. I'll cut that off by hand. Anyway, it'll work, we think. So here now it's printing away on there. I'll check in after a while and see if it's still printing. Black on black, you can't really tell except that the thing is moving. Anyhow, the that's being printed with what kind of 3D ABS material. Anyway, okay, there we go. Okay, here I am back again, and I'll go ahead and get this thing put together. First off, I've got all these X's marked everywhere where I'm going to put holes for plug welds. So all along there, all along there, all along there, all along there, and then on the bottom I'll put it all along those ones. Then I have to put some X holes along here for plug welds and along here for plug welds. So, but I think I'll put the whole thing together first, get it fitted, and then I'll figure out the plug holes here. Okay, try that. Yeah. Anyway, you've all likely seen this before, right? There's the thing for making plug weld holes. Yeah, they're all set to put together. Plug welds, holes all the way along here, all the way along here. So I'll just squeeze them with the pliers and then weld them on. That one there didn't need a hole. Oh well. I'll likely just cut that off and make it look pretty later. Then this one along here, it's got holes along there, and then on the underneath I'll weld it on the bottom of this thing here. That should be okay. Then we'll see how things work out. So I'll just might as well just get at it. Yeah, so plug welds, right? There's a bunch of them there. That one there is not very well. That one there, that one. These are all close to the edge. Those ones there I got covered. I'll show you what I do. It'll likely get all washed out with the light, but I start in the center. And then go around the outside edge. And then that has got good penetration there, so that everything is held together. This is pretty heavy heavy steel, like it's 16 gauge steel, and it comes out to a nice little, and I'll grind that off later to make it flat. We'll just show you how it comes out. Yeah, there, that's all welded up, and looks like it came through on the other side pretty good. Everywhere it's got some pretty good penetration. This is the back side. So now I'm going to grind it up, and then I'll see if that piece of plastic actually fits in there. Yeah, so here's my piece. Seems to be pretty close to right. That plastic thing is a tight fit in there, but the other one, the one that I'm building on the 3D printer, fits in well. So I can use that just for a center piece, right? To center up the bumper and position this where it's supposed to go. So that's what's coming up now. Yeah, I nearly forgot to put the extra reinforcement on the top and extra reinforcement on the bottom and hook that nut on there. So anyway, that's done. Now, see if I can get it into the car. Well, there, that's for the first fit. I just threw it in there. Got the bolt going down through there. Got the bolt going down through that one. This one here has got the factory fitting in here, the rubber thing. this side here has just got a spacer that I built on the 3D printer. I've got another print coming off the 3D printer right about now, which I will stick in here before I do a final fit to it. But that's pretty good. This side here, I have to cut off that flange because it's just not cooperating down there. And then most of the welding will be on that side of it because there's no room in there to weld. So I'll cut that flange off, and maybe I'll just turn it the other way so it's got something to set on there. We'll just see. Okay, and look at that, it sits pretty near level. This has got to go down a bit on that side and up a bit on that side, so right there is level. And that's just the way that it sits naturally. So I think I can be pretty happy with that. When I get it, it'll just bolt, it'll like weld right in there when I get the last piece made, and it'll look like the other side pretty close. Cool. So that's going to be a good, that'll be a good fit. Then I'll put a piece across the top here to level it out and to, you know, give it more strength. Okay. But first, now that's as far as I can take that for now, until I actually want to get this thing fitted in here properly, which I can't do today, but I will be able to do soon. There, I did a bit more fiddling around, and I've got it so it's nice and level now, and I'll just push down on that side a bit. It's nice and level. That twists this around that way, right? Then it's on back there. This is on in factory position. This distance from here to here is, well, I'll show you. So the distance from there to there is like 148 millimeters. Oh, this one here is a little bit off. So it's got to be pushed out a bit this way, which is okay. I can do that. Hang on. Hey, what's that? That's 47, whoops, sorry, 47 millimeters there. And over on this side, 47 millimeters. So that's located correctly. Well, that's located where from the factory mount here to there is good. Then it looks like the distance from the back of that to the hole is about the same as the distance on the back of this one to the hole. Pretty close. So that piece there is good. I'm going to call that good, and I've got a spacer in there, so it's holding it kind of straight, but I will get a proper spacer in there before I do a final on that. But I can just leave that there for now, it's fine. Okay, now this piece I'll put on. I have to grind that down a bit there and figure out where the plug welds go here, but that's okay, I can do that. I think there should be plug welds there. You never know anything for sure. Anyway, there will be plug welds there. Then, then I've got all these points marked, so I think I can just run plug welds down the edge of that, right? And these points here. So I have to clean each one of these and then refigure it where it is supposed to be. But first I'm going to put just a what do you call that? A guide hole in each one of these, just to see if it's sitting in the right spot. Yeah, so everywhere I go, I can see metal behind. So I drilled out guide hole here, 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 and down here. Everywhere is metal behind except for this one here, which is past the metal. So the last one should be right where that dot is, right there. Anyway, and then I'll put some plug weld holes down along this edge, and that I can do with the hole maker. This thing, I put clecos in here to hold it in the same place because I got to clean off this stuff up here before I weld. Like I'm going to clean all that white stuff off so that I can weld on there and clean off all the paint just in those spots where it's going to be plug welded. Then we'll just go to town and plug weld it, put it in, and that's pretty well it. It doesn't have any plug welds up here at this end. Now, is that because it was rusted off there? Or is that because that's what the end of it was? Last plug weld was right there. And where did it go? Right here. Should have been a plug weld up here. I'll put one in right up. Sorry. I'll put another plug weld right about here somewhere. Oh, there's the end of it. Right there is the end of it. So that's where the last plug weld will go. Now, I presume that it goes against the edge here, but don't know that for a fact. Maybe I'll put that one back in and see. Okay. There, now I've cleaned behind everywhere where the plug holes are going. Plug welds. And I cleaned this and cleaned the top of this thing off. So I'm going to put one more plug weld at the front here, just so it hits this little bit right here. Okay, make a hole for that. Make a hole, Lord. Okay, hang on. Yeah, a bit of masking tape covering this. That's the serial number stamped in the car. Same number as this one on this over here, which I'll put a new oh, what do you call that? This thing here, whatever you call that thing, some sort of a rivet. Yeah, some sort of a rivet, whatever kind of rivet that is. Anyway, this is all cleaned off. Put an extra hole there. I think I'm ready to weld. So I'll just get it on and see how it turns out. I don't think anything else goes in there. That's all of it. Yeah, here we go. Gonna do some welding along here now. This is all set to go. So I've squeezed that together. Plug weld these things and see how that works out. That didn't last. Lots of burning. I think I got too much heat on it. That's better. There. Anyway, you get the idea. Yeah, there now, that's welded up. I had to go over it about 3 times because this top panel here is a little bit thin. This panel here is a little bit thicker. Anyway, it's on and it's solid. And now, like, I went through and I filled up all the little holes and divots that I made. There's still a couple to go, so I'll likely go over it once more before I'm happy with it, and then get it ground down a bit better. Anyhow, so far so good. It's enough for today though, it's quitting time, so I'll finish that welding up tomorrow, and that'll be good. It's enough for today though, it's quitting time, so I'll finish that welding up tomorrow, and that'll be good. So, here we are, this is the piece that I made, right? This is the, what do you call that? What came out of the printer. Now, it doesn't quite fit in there because the dimensions aren't quite right. So now I'm going to take this in, and I've got these things here for measuring inside stuff. I'll make the proper measurements along it and get one of these built properly. Now I'll make sure that this fits over the pipe, right? Let's just check that. Yeah, the only thing really right about it is that the diameter of the hole is correct. Hey? So, anyhow, but it's close. Close to it. And then I made this out of ABS, and ABS on my printer just doesn't, it doesn't hold together very well. It's not, I've got a Neo, Cobra 3 Neo or Cobra 2 Neo, and it doesn't like printing on ABS. So I'll make it out of PLA, and I'll make it, you know, fairly solid. See how the inside of this is, the infill is wavy. I'll make that more solid on the infill. Okay, anyway, that's coming up. Yeah, gonna weld up all this stuff along here now. I'll start over here and weld along. Some of these holes are just a bit high, so they're okay for plug welding on there, but then I'll have to just fill them in a bit otherwise, but that's okay. Now, next is, I decided to take the wheel off so I didn't get any welding slag on it, and the brake shoes are all right for a while yet. Then all this is no rust at all on this stuff. Now I wonder if that was replaced somewhere along the line. Who knows, eh? But we'll carry on. Yeah, there, that's all welded back in place. Right or wrong, it's there. I guess the what do you call this? The fender itself is a little bit of adjustable up and down, and then the fender will meet up with the hood that comes down here. So that should be okay the way it is, we hope. Now the next thing go on is this thing here. Now he's got it cut right there, which would be right there above that hole. And then it goes on here, and I'll plug weld it onto this part here, make them come together, because it seems that it matches up with that, and it doesn't quite meet there, like it just overlaps that, and then it seems to go into this corner here. But I'll check on the other side. Whoop! Oh yeah, that'll be good for it. Because the other side is still here. Yeah, so it fits underneath this right here. And fits onto that right there. Now I don't know if there's should be a lip there or something. Don't know. It doesn't seem to be. I'll just put a little bit of a weld across it. And then it goes in here. It was onto the old one. I don't know how I get that out of there. Let's see here. Well, it's right up against the edge of that, eh? So I guess it's got to be over. This has to, but that's not in there. Maybe it's behind. Does it go behind that? No. But the old one, the way it lined up was right there, so let me just see what I can do there. Yeah, so now this piece here, I've got that cleat into pretty close to where it's supposed to go. I'm just gonna zip it off right here and put a couple of plug welds in here onto the old piece. There'll be, you know, a double fabric there, but I don't think that'll hurt anything. And this part here, this has to go up about there, that level there, to make it to the right level. Then that originally had a bit of a lip that came out and over the top of this, and then was welded here. So I'll have to recut that. Yeah, I'll cut that off, part of it off, so I know how far to come. And then I'll put a little, like a tab on there. Maybe I'll just get a tab on there of some sort. And let that slide in underneath it. Okay, that's what I'll do, because there'll be lots of room with this thing here. That, like, see that little tab that comes out here? There'll be lots of room there. That will be okay. Then if not, I'll put the grinder to it later. Looks like this was worked on by previous owner, so I presume it's correct. Can't do anything about that. And then I'll clean that off a bit. That's just a little bit of surface rust on it from hanging around outside. So I'll paint it on the inside black, and then I'll get it on here, and then I'll paint the outside black. But first I'll zip that off there, because this part here is okay. I'll give that a couple of pounds, make sure it's okay. And then I've measured, like, from this corner, which is, this is still all connected, right? So from this corner of, like, the edge of that right there, measured from here to here, and I've got the same measurement from here to here, 1.1 meters, like 1100 millimeters or something like that. I think it was. If I can find my measuring tool, I'd double check it for you. Wonder what I did with that. Found my level. It's on the ground here. Oh dear. Oh, it's a long way down to the ground these days. Getting deeper all the time. Wonder what I did with my measuring device. I'll find it. Yeah, from this lip here, which is original, to that edge there is 1100 millimeters, or 1.1 meters, And that's the same as on the other side, from the same position to there. Now as far as the height goes, this height here is going to be right because it hasn't ever changed. And this is 65 millimeters from here to this edge. I'll double check that. And then I'll make it so it's 65 millimeters from here to this edge. They just put a little magnet on here and make it flat, right? Okay, I'll do that. So this was the end piece here, and a little bit suspect. So I cut it off and I put in another piece. Now it still has to be like it's a bit long down there, so I'll just see if I can figure out where it exactly fits, and then I'll trim that off. I made it a bit too long, and I think that it trims off something like that, but we'll check it out here. That's got to be on there. Right, that goes on like right there. Yeah, so that piece just trims off a little bit on the edge there, but I'll Cleco my piece back on here, and then see where it fits. Yeah, there, I trimmed that off. I measured from here to this center hole on both sides, and that's the same distance. Now I'm going to just put this, first I'll put this on. This bit here gets welded last, because I have to just sort of lift on that a bit to make that right. Okay, because it's got to go in and up and in. Right there it's got to be touched, and then it's got to be done that to it to make it fit right. You can see from the other side it's got a bit of a twist to it. Anyway, I'll get this will be, I'm just going to lap weld right here a couple of spots, plug weld these holes all the way along down and across the bottom here. Oops, this is last, this is next, that, and then that, and then that's how it is. Yeah, there, that's all welded up. So this is all in, plug welds everywhere. Then I did it like I put that on the inside of here, and then I just did a little lap weld. There's a little alliteration, right? Then down here, plug welds all the way along there. Down at the bottom, this part here I left on the original piece because that makes it easier. Like that's where the fender's going to hook on, and that's to the original. So that's good by me. Then in here, this piece here was this part of the headlight bracket gets plug welded to here, and I had to lift on it like it's, so I lifted on it so that it was the right height from the bottom there to here and the bottom there to here, and that seemed to work out all right. This thing here I just did like a corner weld on it to hold it together there. Anyway, that's all in, and measured across from this center bolt to here, measured across from this center bolt to here, same distance, so it's all symmetrical. Height from here to here, height from here to here, all the same. This part here hasn't been taken apart yet, so it's, you know, a good guide to have to go by. So then I now have to take this side apart, find those lap welds and find those plug welds in there, and find the plug welds all along here. Yeah, we'll work on that. That'll be a tomorrow thing. Anyway, that's all for this week. I think got the car in here, started working on number one, making this thing for the front bumper mount, which is made. Now I have to do a thing on the oh, what do they call that thing, 3D printer to fit in there so that it'll all center up everything. Then built this, put this on here. This is a patch panel that came with the car. Nice to have, and it's solid. That makes everything here solid. That's all structure for the car too. Then this piece here, which came with the car, which is a nice little patch panel. Put that on, so that side, this side here is done. Don't have to do anymore. Okay? And gotta fix that piece there one of these days. So next I'll go after this side over here, but that's next week. Have to get that all off of there gently, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so now I'll see you next time. So make sure you come around and like and subscribe, and come on back for more. This is a 1976 BMW 2002. Okay, see you now. Yep, sometime in January, and 2025. Wow. Anyway, the snow is coming every day now. Just a little bit every day, but it accumulates. So I'll have to get the tractor out later and sort of push some out of the way. Looks like the pond is frozen up again. Same with that pond over there. Open water there. Tide must be going out because it's taking the snow off here. Maybe it's yesterday's. Well, who knows. Anyway, another day at the beach. Buster's checking it out. See you later.